10 brand new Supreme Court rules have just turned the world of gun ownership upside down. What every firearm owner thought they knew about police encounters has been rewritten overnight. And the most shocking part? Rule number 1 is so explosive that police departments across the country are being forced to rewrite their entire training manuals before the ink on the court ruling is even dry. If you're carrying a firearm and you don't know these rules, your next routine traffic stop could spiral into a life-altering nightmare. Because after this ruling, ignorance isn't just dangerous, it's deadly. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could save your freedom, your future, and possibly even your life. Rule number 10, the Silent Shield Protocol. This is the rule that changes everything. It hands gun owners a legal shield so powerful that it can dismantle an officer's entire case against you in a matter of seconds. It starts with one phrase, a phrase most people never use because they don't understand its strength. That phrase is, "Officer, I am invoking my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, my Sixth Amendment right to an attorney, and I do not consent to any searches or seizures." The power of this statement lies in its finality. Once invoked, any evidence gathered afterward can be thrown out in court. Any confession extracted becomes inadmissible. And under the new Martinez ruling, if an officer ignores your invocation, his actions become a constitutional violation that the courts are now required to examine. I've seen cases where felony charges collapsed in days because the defendant used this very phrase. I've seen wrongful arrests turn into six-figure settlements. The moment you say these words, you've transformed the encounter from their game into your shield. Rule number 9, the preemptive documentation strike 3. Taps on your phone could be the difference between freedom and decades behind bars. That's all it takes. But most gun owners wait until it's too late. From the moment police lights flash in your rearview mirror, you must engage the triple documentation protocol. Record audio or video, verbally timestamp the encounter, and acknowledge your legal status. The exact script is simple but devastatingly effective. It is date, time, location. I am legally licensed to carry, I am currently armed, and I am recording this interaction for the safety of all parties involved. This isn't about paranoia. It's about evidence, proof of your calmness, your cooperation, your awareness of rights. And under the Supreme Court's new standard, those opening moments of documentation cannot be brushed aside. If you build this record, you've already shifted the weight of the encounter onto solid ground. If you don't, you're gambling your entire future on the word of someone else. Rule number 8, the constitutional carry shield. So, many gun owners think constitutional carry means absolute freedom, but that misunderstanding could get you detained, or worse. Even in constitutional carry states, officers can detain you if they have specific, articulable suspicion. But here's the key. They cannot detain you simply because you are legally carrying a firearm. The distinction matters. The life-saving phrase is this: "Officer, I am legally carrying under state constitutional carry laws. I pose no threat to anyone, and I am happy to cooperate within my constitutional rights." The word "within" is critical. It signals cooperation, but also boundary. Officers will often escalate, claiming they need to secure the weapon. But after Martinez, vague feelings of discomfort don't pass legal scrutiny. Unless they can articulate a specific, reasonable safety concern, their attempt to disarm you is unconstitutional. This is where calm language and boundaries can mean the difference between control and chaos. Rule number 7, the vehicle fortress defense. Your car is your castle on wheels, and too many lives have been upended because gun owners didn't know how to fortify it. The first 30 seconds of a stop determine whether you drive away safely or spiral into a legal disaster. Here's the protocol. Keep hands visible on the steering wheel, lights on if it's dark, and disclose calmly. The magic phrase: "Officer, I am legally licensed to carry, and I am currently armed. My firearm is secured and poses no threat. I do not consent to any searches of my person or my vehicle." This establishes honesty, prevents surprise, and sets boundaries in one breath. Before Martinez, officers could lean on the excuse of officer safety to justify a search, but that era is over. Now, unless they can articulate a specific danger, their authority stops at your door. Rule number 6, the home sanctuary protocol. Your home is your sanctuary, or it should be. But without this rule, you could lose that protection in the first 10 seconds of opening your front door. Police often rely on implied consent, and most people give it without realizing. Here's the shield. Never open the door wide. Never step back. If you open it, crack it just enough to speak, or step outside and close it behind you. And your words should be precise. Officers, I am exercising my Fourth Amendment rights and do not consent to entry without a warrant. I am legally armed, and I am happy to speak with you here. Once you let them in, everything becomes potential evidence. But when you draw this line, the law is on your side. Countless unlawful entries have been prevented by this one rule, sparing gun owners from raids, seizures, and years of fallout. Rule number 5, the Miranda activation trigger. Most people think Miranda begins after the cuffs. That misconception has destroyed lives. In reality, Miranda kicks in the moment the encounter shifts from casual to custodial, when questions turn accusatory, when movement feels restricted, when your firearm is suddenly treated as evidence. That's when you invoke. Your phrase is this: "Officer, I want to exercise my right to remain silent and my right to have an attorney present before answering any questions." And then, silence. Do not explain. Do not argue. Do not answer just one more. Once invoked, your silence is your armor. Speak after that, and you've pierced your own shield. Rule number 4, the movement narration defense. This is the difference between surviving an encounter and becoming another tragic statistic. Every move you make around officers must be announced. The protocol is simple but life-saving. "Officer, I need to reach for my wallet in my back right pocket. Is that okay? Wait. Move slowly. Narrate each action. It transforms your gestures from suspicious to documented. In case after case, officers have testified they fired because of sudden movement. After Martinez, courts must now review whether those movements were explained or not. Survivors are the ones who narrated. The silenced are often the ones who didn't. Rule number 3, the escalation recognition system. There is always a tipping point where routine becomes dangerous. Recognizing it buys you precious seconds. The signs are clear. The officer's tone turns aggressive. His body language closes in. His hand lingers near his weapon, or he ignores your stated rights. That's when you shift into defensive compliance. Speak calmly, shorten your words, narrate your actions, and use this phrase: "Officer, I want both of us to be safe. I am not resisting, and I am complying with all lawful orders within my constitutional rights." The power lies in that word, lawful. It distinguishes between authority and abuse, planting a flag for future courts to examine. Rule number 2, the disclosure decision matrix. The single deadliest mistake? Blurting out, "I have a gun." Those 4 words spike adrenaline and draw hands to holsters. Disclosure must be deliberate, calm, and legally correct. In Duty to Inform states, use this exact phrase: "Officer, I want to inform you that I am legally licensed to carry a concealed weapon. My firearm is secured on my right hip. My hands will remain visible on the steering wheel." This communicates everything: legality, location, safety. But outside Duty to Inform states, discretion matters. If the officer is already hostile, disclosure may actually save you by removing the element of surprise. The decision isn't one size fits all, it's a matrix. Read the tone, the risk, and the law before speaking. Rule number 1, the Officer Safety Destruction Protocol. This is the rule that changes the game forever. For 50 years, 2 words, officer safety, were used to justify nearly every violation. Unlawful searches, wrongful detentions, excessive force, even shootings, all excused by those magic words. Courts nodded along, cases closed. But the Supreme Court just detonated that shield in the landmark Martinez versus Thompson decision. From this moment forward, officer safety must be justified by specific, articulable facts, not feelings or fears. Vague unease is no longer enough. If an officer disarms you, detains you, or escalates using the safety excuse, he must explain exactly what behavior created risk and whether a reasonable officer would see it the same way. Your response is simple, devastating, and legally sound. "Officer, I understand safety is important, but I need you to articulate the specific behavior or circumstances that justify restricting my constitutional rights." If they can't, their excuse collapses. Their actions become violations, and the consequences shift onto them: dismissed charges, lawsuits, even prosecution. These 10 rules aren't abstract. They are the line between freedom and ruin, between walking through your front door tonight or being reduced to a case number, between your children seeing you at the dinner table or through prison glass. Gun owners, the legal battlefield has shifted under your feet. The only way to stand tall is to learn these rules, live by them, and spread them to every person who carries. Because when rights erode in silence, freedom dies with them. If even one of these rules could save a life or a future, it's worth sharing. And if you believe in protecting your rights, your safety, and your family's future, then hit that subscribe button right now and join us here on Bulletbound. Because this fight isn't just about laws, it's about survival.